Hello everyone, welcome to the Redmen TV for some daily news live and in your face, presumably. Obviously the big news there, it's there in the title if you've seen it already. The Phil Coutinho apparently want to move to Barcelona. Is it time to melt down and lose our heads and have a cry? No, I mean, if you've recently lost a family member, then by all means. But realistically speaking, right here, right now, no. The thing to get wound up about is in the reporting of this story. I'll come to that in a moment, though. The story itself is being told like this. Phil Coutinho, according to people who are close to him, has said that he wants to move to Barcelona, but only if a deal between Barcelona and Liverpool can be struck amicably. And that, for me, and that for everyone, theoretically, should be the major point of this story. And that is that he wants to play for Barcelona. Of course he does. I wouldn't mind a game for Barcelona. I'll just say that right here and right now. I'd like a move to Barcelona. Phil Coutinho does. You got Luis Suarez there. They're an amazing football club, and they would make him. You know, he would get a game, particularly now that Neymar's moved. Do Liverpool want to sell him? No. Liverpool have got no interest in selling Phil Coutinho. Now, I've said in the past that Liverpool, every player's got a price at Liverpool because it's the way the business model's set up for right or wrong. And it wouldn't shock me if in any other season, I think, if Barcelona came in with a, let's say, £120 million bid, that's well more than Phil Coutinho's worth. That's probably twice as much as Phil Coutinho's worth. And under those circumstances, and because of the way that the football club is run, like so many other football clubs in the world, that you have to accept bids like that. However, because of the nature this summer and the nature of where Liverpool are, and the fact that they've been very stringent in saying that he's not for sale, I've been wrong on this before, but I genuinely can't see it happening. Barca would have to offer something like really, really ridiculous, and even then, I just think, particularly the fact that the Van Dijk stuff's not been done, the Keita stuff's not going to happen. If only for the PR disaster, I think it would be crazy for Liverpool to accept any offer for Phil Coutinho, and that's why I think he will stay for another season at least. But I'm interested to know your thoughts on this. I'll dive into the comments quickly. So the Red Frost, this is all media crap. Liverpool will not sell him this summer, and He going to go. Sergeant Pepper, old news. Daniel Handy said, I'm going to have to take a couple of days off work and cry. Listen, again, if you want to do that, by all means do. If you're looking for an excuse to take a few days off for the duvet day. 5-star for me, this is Sky Sports is reliable. Sky Sports is not that reliable, let's be perfectly honest. But the thing of this is, does Phil Coutinho want to move to Barcelona? Yes. Phil Coutinho does want to move to Barcelona. So that, in that regard, reporting of that is, I guess, is reliable, and that would be true. But it's kind of irrelevant because Liverpool are not interested in selling. Then don't see it happening. What I don't like in the reporting of this, you got the Metro saying, it's got the headline like Klopp betrayed. Fuck off, Metro. The Metro can basically fuck off because we know we like them loads more. Gary Paul at the Super Chat is, can anyone really defend FSG now? I don't understand. Defend them over what? Defend them for not wanting to sell Coutinho? Because I would defend an ownership that chooses not to sell Phil Coutinho. I wouldn't give them credit for it. I wouldn't say, hey, here's a big pat on the back and a parade for not selling good players. But I would happily defend someone for not selling a player. Anyway, Nick Simons, here is £20. Please ensure that Coutinho doesn't leave. My work here is done. Nick, that's a lot of pressure you've put on me there, mate. That is a lot of pressure, and I'm not sure I'm prepared to withstand the burden of that. If I see them, I'll pass on the message. It's not likely. I was close. I was very close to John Arne Riise and Linda. Linda is a phenomenal looking woman, and that's all I've got to say on her. Look, there's people. Let's see what else we got. King Lun. This is fake news. Like I say, I don't think it's fake news. It's just it's making news out of nothing, and that's because there's very little news to be had. And look, let's be perfectly honest. We've all been doing it with Keita for a month. where we've been taking little tidbits here and there. The rumour is that Keita wants to join Liverpool. We told her, look, we've been doing it. You know, we're as guilty of it as any. We can't really get too upset when other sources are trying to drive clicks and whatever by selling Coutinho on us and whatever. But I just don't think it's as big a deal as anyone's making it out.
Caleb Torrance says, I'm not on the FSGO bandwagon yet, but if they sell Coutinho this summer, I'm jumping on it.
Yeah, maybe. Look, fair play. Jump on. People can feel how they want to feel. If I'm honest, my only thing I would say is Liverpool would have to go out and buy someone amazing. You know, we've just done this on Social Club today. Actually, I go over to Bullshit. They've done 3 Social Club shows. They're really, really good. And the final word's up on the Redmen website shortly as well. But Liverpool would have to do what they did with Torres. Now, I know the Carroll thing didn't work out ultimately, but it is easy to forget that, like, Andy Carroll was very highly thought of at the time. He was thought of being one of the hottest young talents coming through in England, and we went out and spent big money and got him. Liverpool could not get to the end of this transfer window having not got Van Dijk, having not got Keita, and having sold Coutinho. Because if that happens, I think it's right for us to get on the barricades, and I think there will be kickoffs, and I will be right at the forefront of the protests if that's the case, because it's indefensible. Absolutely indefensible for Liverpool to get Champions League football and to effectively make the squad worse. That would be borderline criminal. That being said, Tony Evans has done a series of amazing tweets on Twitter. Read them. There's a guy who knows Liverpool inside and out, is very well connected, having been the chief sports writer at the Times for a fair old chunk of time. He doesn't share the anti-FSG sentiment because, in his words, yes, they run it as a business, but in order for them to make it a profitable business, they need Liverpool to be successful, and they do want Liverpool to be successful. But again, it would be a poor sign of it. The point of it is that I see no sense in there's no sense in having a further go at the owners over this, which hasn't happened effectively. Now, I understand there's Preston for it. If you want to be angry about the Preston set in the past, groovy, man. So, have you got anything else?
Cormac said, kind of echoed what we've been talking about. There's no point in selling them for whatever amount of money if we can't sign any of our major targets.
Exactly that. Now, again, if someone had said, you sell him for 120 and you can get Mbappe for 120, I wouldn't even want that if I'm perfectly honest, but that would at least I'd probably be okay. I'd learn to be okay with that if I'm perfectly honest. The thing for me why I'm not getting dead wound up about it, for is that I don't see that it's happening, and again, maybe I'm wrong, but I like Phil, really do. I think he's a really, really good player. I just don't have that level of connection. Maybe it's just because I'm getting older and a bit more jaded about it. I don't have that level of connection to players anymore. But yeah, Ricky D, why do you still talk shit, Paul? Where are the new players too? Our team is shit still. Why is our team shit still? Our team was really good last year. We were lacking a couple of players, absolutely, and I don't think the squad depth thing has necessarily been addressed. But shit's an overreaction, isn't it? So maybe I'm talking shit, but then again, that's maybe just because I just talk shit in general. But yeah, maybe you're just wrong. The only other piece of news, and we'll come have a few comments in a second, is that John Arne Riise has tweeted he thinks Sakho will, through hard work and commitment, turn it all around and play for LFC this season. And it's interesting that you read between the lines and some of the Klopp stuff this week about we've got 4 centre-halves, we don't need a new one. I think we're still very much interested in Virgil van Dijk, but I think the point he goes on to make is about the players that needed to improve Liverpool. And I don't know, I think if Liverpool are prepared to spend about £140 million on Van Dijk and Keita, say, then it stands to reason that money's there to be spent. Now, I don't agree in just buying shit for shit's sake. Now, if I want to go and buy, I'll give you an example. I bought all of these cameras off eBay. Now, I miss out. I set a price for what I expect on that camera. I don't go above that. If I miss out on that, I get another one that's equal, the same camera I can buy for a different price. It doesn't work that way in football per se. And it's very difficult to absolutely tangibly upgrade on a lot of what we've got. Whether you think Lovren's shit or not, he's still good. He's still a good centre-half. He's not a world-class centre-half. There's not many players out there who can improve upon our first 11. We can go and buy shite, or we can go and buy squad players. But are you better off spending £25 million on a guy who's a squad player, or are you better off giving more game time to younger players? There's loads of people who think it's the spend money thing, and that's absolutely fine because that's what Chelsea and that's what City and that's what Man United, etc. do. But I don't disagree with the model of look at how much we've seen the likes of Trent Alexander-Arnold, Woodburn progress just in the last 12 months. Even someone like Ryan Kent, who's been impressing people. I personally would like to see us develop a system where the vast majority of our squad is made up of young lads who've come through the system and then peppered with top talent that we're buying. We just need to get our heads around buying the top talent because we've not done that well this season. And I will admit that there's no, it's fucking obvious, isn't it? Liverpool have not been great in the transfer window thus far, but we've also, I don't think we've been anywhere near as bad as people are making out. So a couple more comments before we go.
Jack FC said, would you accept a bid for Coutinho if we got him back on loan for the season?
No, it's fucking worst. That I would literally, there's nothing that says Liverpool are not a power more than getting him back on loan. I'd sell him or fucking keep him, but no, that would be fucking horrendous.
Is it true that Liverpool are planning to replace Phil or just to sign this Ziyech from Ajax?
I don't think that's true. I've not seen enough of that. It looks like that is complete bollocks, that rumour by all accounts. I saw something on Twitter saying not even like the reputable people on the Ajax side of things are talking about that, so it just looks like a name that probably the Express, I'd guess. Or the Express, the Metro or the Mail, I wouldn't be shocked to see any one of those as the first sources reporting that stuff. One more.
Nathan Fitzpatrick, would you happy going into the season with this defence?
Happy? Content? No. I'm okay with it, if I'm perfectly honest. I would be happier, much happier, if we signed Virgil van Dijk. But I've said this before, I don't think we're as bad as all that. I don't think Liverpool's defence is as bad as is made. I don't think it's great. It's not as good as Spurs. It's not as good as Chelsea's. And it's not as good as United's. But I think our attack is better than all of those teams. So I think it'll balance out ultimately. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, let's be honest. If this time next year we're all creaming our pants because Joe Gomez has fulfilled his potential as an amazing centre-half, that's how footy has a weird way of working out like that sometimes. Listen, I apologise if I'm not bowing to the misery at times. I do feel it. I do see all the negative things. I'm just a happier person. So yeah, I would be. I'm not happy. Is not the word. I'm not dancing a jig. I'm not ecstatic, but I'm also not upset because I think Lovren and Matip is a decent enough centre half partnership. Can we improve on that by getting another centre half in? I think so, and I still think we will. But again, if you listen to the negativity, you believe Liverpool are fucked right now. Like somehow we're going into this season like completely devastated. Like we're not top four contenders all of a sudden, which is absolute bollocks. Liverpool are better now than they were at the end of last season. We've got better attacking players. The young players that we've got are a year better at football. We've got players back from injury as well. And these are in no way, shape or form excuses for not buying more top targets. But at the very base level, like I said, this Liverpool were excellent last season at times for a lot of the season. And I would expect us to be just as excellent and in fact a little bit better in certain areas. So I go into the season fully optimistic, and if you choose not to, that is on you, I'm afraid. Right, we're going to wrap that up. Check out the rest of the content. We're going to have the final words up on the website. There's some amazing stuff, written articles now on the website as well. And there's going to be content going up on my channel. I did some cool behind-the-scenes stuff in Germany. You can click there and watch that. Subscribe to Mates TV. I've broken through 18,000 subscribers. Subscribe to Redmen TV. More news tomorrow. More amazing subscriber shows. And hopefully, if you need more positivity, that's what we're here for. Because fuck being miserable. Cheers.